Barnard Popoff here from the Contrarians, back again with another episode of Reliving Old Reviews as a useless tool of confusion. When I do these, okay, number one, what this is, these are just short snappers that we look at an old review and see if the reviewer got it right or wrong of an album that kind of grew in stature over time or was from a weird source. In this case, we are going to look at a review by J.D. Considine. I did it again. J.D. Considine. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Anyways, we are going to look at a review of Mob Rules by Black Sabbath in Rolling Stone magazine, which is kind of interesting in itself. But yeah, the funny thing is, so sometimes when I do these, I kind of scan ahead or read the review to see what there is. Sometimes I just want to go in cold, and in this case, I have not read this review, or I haven't read it for years. I'll put it that way. Maybe quoted in my Blacks. By the way, yes, I do have these. I do have my Black Sabbath books available. You can get either of these, Black Sabbath, the story of, the Heaven and Hell era forward, or hang on, what have we got here? Sabotage. So yeah, both of these are still available at martinpopoff.com. But yeah, maybe I've quoted this review in the book or not, but let's see what JD has to say about this. After 1980's harder and faster Heaven and Hell, there was reason to believe that singer Ronnie James Dio might pull Black Sabbath off the heavy metal scrap heap. Didn't happen. Mob Rules finds the band as dull-witted and flatulent as ever. So, he calls the previous one harder and faster. I think Heaven and Hell does have a harder surface in terms of Martin Birch's production on that. Martin Birch produces both of these, but I think it's a little more mid-rangey and urgent. So he's kind of picking up something here. Maybe it's subconsciously that he's thinking the previous album is harder. Is it faster? I don't know if it's particularly faster. We can match up the songs there and figure it out. By the way, have you ever tried those BPM things on the computer? That's pretty cool. You can plug in any song and it'll tell you the BPM. It's kind of neat. But yeah, then he gets pretty negative. Dull-witted and flatulent as ever. Wow. Okay. It isn't easy to figure out exactly who deserves the blame for this sludge fest. Dio's lyrics are insipid and cliched, but since the vocals are usually buried in the mix, that's only a minor annoyance. I do agree to a certain extent that this is an era for Black Sabbath when they're self-aware and the lyrics are a little more between the eyes, on the nose, whatever you want to call it. I think Geisler's lyrics and the whole ethic ethos of the 70s was a little more interesting and artistic. And I think now you're in more of a commercial, heavy metal is getting compartmentalized down. We know what heavy metal is. Black Sabbath could be called a number of different things. You know how I go into this whole rant, how they basically dressed and looked like the Eagles. But now heavy metal is definitely being codified, and Ronnie James Dio is very, very good at writing heavy metal lyrics. So I think he's got a bit of a point there. Calling the vocals buried in the mix. I've never thought that about this album. To me, they sound perfectly normal in the mix. When you put vocals a little bit back, it's kind of a good thing in a certain in a way, because it does make everything else sound more powerful. That basically goes for any of the performances or frequencies. It always, you take something out, it just makes everything else look bigger. His bass rumbling like an overloaded truck. Geezer Butler is busy, but not quite as busy as guitarist Tony Iommi, who uses the album as an opportunity to demonstrate how swiftly he can play. I love that description of Geezer. Bass rumbling like an overloaded truck. That's pretty cool. I've never thought of what he does on there particularly busy. I'm sure it probably is very cool bass playing, but because it's recorded so bassy by Martin Birch, it doesn't articulate like a Steve Harris or anything. Tony, how swiftly he can play, I don't think you really get that out of Tony either. In case you're wondering, this is in brackets, in case you're wondering, he's quicker than Mark Farner. Not as quick as Johnny Ramone. So there you go with a, two old time references. This is 1982, and he's referencing the Ramones, who are more of like a 1976, 1977 band, and Mark Farner, which is just insane to reference in 1982. If you read a heavy metal review like we have on various other episodes of this. I think a few of them have brought up Grand Funk, but that's when you're reading a review from 1970 or 1971. To bring up Mark Farner in 1982 is just bizarre. As for the new kid on the block, drummer Vinny Appice, his thumping is so leaden and uninspired, you have to listen twice to notice him. I love Vinny's drumming. I think he's got a great style of his own. It is leaden and thumping. I mean, it is kind of what JD is saying here, but it is, I think, a really cool style. I love the way he does fills. He's got a way of being simple and artistic at the same time. Then JD ends with, the reason that Mob Rules is terrible is teamwork. Not just thinking up lame riffs and dumb lyrics, but also performing them as poorly as possible. Wow. That's pretty good closing. So yeah, he says it takes a village to make an album this bad, right? Yeah, pretty funny. So lame riffs. I mean, obviously the riffs are not lame. They're great riffs. Dumb lyrics. They're not the greatest lyrics in the world, but they're pretty darn good. And performing them as poorly as possible. I mean, this is when, like I say, heavy metal. I mean, this is a very starkly obvious, purely heavy metal album. The arrangements are no nonsense, but I think everything sounds great. I think Martin Birch gets great sound. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree with most of what JD is saying in this Rolling Stone review of Mob Rules. But let us know in the comments below what you think.